Hi everyone, it's me, Dr. Whimsy, your favorite naturopathic doctor, and I decided to do this video to have a little bit of a conversation about a problem I'm having with my small business, and maybe those of you who have a small business can relate to it. The problem I'm having has to do with outsourcing. Now here is the problem. When you are living frugally, when you are trying to pay down student loan debt, when you are trying to live below your means, you may decide that you're going to do all the work yourself. This creates an interesting challenge. So you've started that small business, you're trying to minimize how much money you spend in starting your small business, so you decide to not outsource the work. You decide that you're going to do the work yourself. And then you realize that outsourcing the work, not outsourcing the work, and doing the work yourself actually is taking up valuable time that you are better suited to doing something else. For example, my profession is that I'm a naturopathic doctor. I'm a natural doctor. This is my offices, by the way. This is where I practice medicine. And I have to outsource work all the time. For example, work that involves my website. I am not a web developer. I don't know anything about web developing. I was completely okay hiring somebody else to go and do that work. Now here's the problem. Say you outsource and you decide that you're going to spend a little money hiring somebody to do the work for you so that you can focus on what you do, say being a doctor. The problem is that that is another example where we have to trust somebody else, and we are now, in a sense, at the mercy of that other person to get it right. This is a common problem I'm finding with people who are doing my website. So now I have just fired my third web person. Now, part of that might be because I'm trying to save money, so I have outsourced to people in India. That person went away. Then I outsourced to somebody in England. That person really did some damage. Then a friend of mine for free did a good job, but then she didn't want to help me anymore, so she disappeared. Then I hired a fourth person who did a nice job, but then he messed up some stuff and then had a temper tantrum when I asked him to fix it. He wanted to charge me to fix his mistakes, which I refused. We had a falling out. Now I'm without a web person. So 4 people later, it's beginning to dawn on me that yet again, this is another situation where I have to take 100% responsibility. So these are just some of the issues that come about when you have your own business. When you have your own business, you're going to start to feel like you have to do everything yourself. You have to, it's a lot of work because you have to take responsibility for every aspect of that business. And I can tell you, as a woman that was raised a certain way, the challenge for me is to fight for my rights. I was not raised that way. I was not raised to stick up for myself. And I have had to learn to stick up for myself a lot more now that I do run my own business. I'm now aware of all of the ways that, unfortunately, you can be taken advantage of when you have a small business, and all of the things you have to be mindful for. And if your business fails, in the end, you've got no one to blame but yourself. So this is the question that we put out, that I'm putting out to you, and that you might want to think about. At what point is outsourcing not worth it? In my case, I think that I am going to just have to learn web development. I've had other medical doctors, other doctors who are starting their small private practices that have told me that they just hunkered down and did it. They took WordPress classes and they are their own web developer. It didn't kill them. They did it. They don't enjoy it. Now they outsource, but they know precisely what they want, and if worse comes to worse, they can do it themselves. That to me makes sense. So I'm still going to outsource. I'm still going to look for other people to do certain things, but I am going to put that extra effort in to get the knowledge and the education necessary should something go wrong and I have to steer the boat. I cannot relinquish responsibility for any aspect of my small business. And while outsourcing may be the solution for some people because it frees you up to do the things you love or frees you up to do things that may be more profitable, outsourcing and hoping for the best and hoping that the person you hired is not going to mess things up is a dangerous situation to put yourself and your small business in. So the advice that I'm taking, and maybe you can take it too, is go ahead and outsource web development, SEO, whatever outsourcing you're going to do if you feel that that decision is right for you. But I would just encourage you to become educated in those areas so at the very least you know how to take over should something happen. So I just wanted to do this really quick video about my situation with outsourcing and how, unfortunately, I have found that my vulnerability was that I could not take control over my website, fixing my website, developing my website without the help of somebody else. And that made me aware yet again of another vulnerability in my business. So right now I'm looking for web development courses online. I found one that was on sale for something like $10. I'm a broke aristocrat, so I'm going to do it as affordably as possible. And I'd be curious about people watching this who have small businesses, whether or not you've been in this situation where you've tried to outsource to save yourself time, and because it was an area you didn't know much about, and how it worked out for you. Did you in the end feel like you had to get that knowledge and do it yourself? Or were you lucky when you hired somebody? So I'd be curious to hear what other people have to say about it. So thanks for watching, everybody, and be sure and share, like, subscribe, and tell me what you think about this video. I'd be curious to hear. Bye-bye.